This is Victor from Magic Bookifier, and I'm going to show you how to use one of our tools, the Chapter Creator. You can use the Chapter Creator to write a book, actually for free on the free plan with Magic Bookifier. Today I'm going to tell you how to use the tool from scratch. I'm going to tell you how to generate chapters with different methods. We're going to build a book, and then we'll talk about a couple of projects that you can make with the Chapter Creator. The Chapter Creator costs 1 credit, and basically you can either put in notes in the Chapter Creator and it can write a chapter based on your notes, or you can put in full text and it will use that data to write a chapter. So let me give you a quick example of how it works with just a couple of notes. All right, so what we're going to start with here's some notes that I wrote about how to make toast. All right, and now as you can see, it's pretty simple, like how to make toast, pick out some bread, choose potential toppings and have them standing by, put our bread in the toaster, apply your toppings, enjoy your toast. So let's say that this book is called Simple Recipes for Dudes at Home, and this particular chapter is called How to Make Toast. I'm just going to copy this here. And boom, how to make toast. Great. Okay, that's it. That's all you need to do. At the bottom, you can choose if you wanted to output in a different language, but I'm going to choose English. I'm going to click this box that says, yes, I have the rights to do this. And then I click Create. When the Chapter Creator is writing your chapter, remember that it is considering the title of the book and it is considering the title of each chapter as it's writing. So that has an effect. So the fact that I said I'm making a recipe book for dudes will be considered as it's writing the chapter. So you do have influence over how things go down. So it's going to start a book called Simple Recipes for Dudes at Home. And it's writing the first chapter, as you can see, and it is in my library. And as soon as it's done writing, then the working symbol will go away. So now it's actually done writing. Okay, as you can see, what it did was it took everything that I wrote as notes and it expanded upon those ideas. So the first step, making toast, is selecting the right bread. Okay, and then once you've chosen your ideal loaf, it's time to gather your potential toppings. Okay, and then it expands on that. So basically, you can easily take some notes and turn it into a chapter. Now, the Chapter Creator also appears at the end of every book that you have written. So if I wanted to add another chapter to this, I could easily just go in here and then add another chapter. All right, so that's like the basics of the Chapter Creator. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an entire book in front of you right now using the Chapter Creator. This is actually going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so let's create a book from scratch. So I'm going to start with a transcript of my podcast. I have a podcast where I teach artists how to do things. And so I have an episode of my podcast called How to Do Low Budget Video Production. So let's just make that the chapter. Okay, I just pasted it right in there. Okay, and then I have the transcript from my podcast. And what I've done is I've gone through my transcript and I've identified sections where I'm talking about different things. And so we're going to make those sections of my podcast transcript the actual script. Okay, so let's just start with the first section. I'm just going to copy and paste it right here. And this is actually just like a transcript that I took straight from YouTube of my podcast. And then second, what I've done is I've gone through and identified sections in my transcript where we talk about different subjects. I'm going to take those different sections and turn them into chapters. And I'm just going to take the transcript straight from what we get from YouTube, and we're going to paste it in here. Now, you may say to yourself, hey, I don't want to go through a transcript and split it up. If you use our other writing tools, for instance, like the long form writer, it'll actually go through and do that for you and then produce an entire draft based on that. But if you want to do it on the cheaper side with the Chapter Creator, then you have to do some of that work yourself. Okay, so the first chapter is going to be called The Introduction to Low Budget Productions. That is going to be chapter 1. I'm going to say I own it, and I'm going to click, and there you go. Now that is being written. As soon as that first chapter is written, I'm going to actually go in and start on some of the other chapter works, because chapter 2 is going to be fundamentals of low budget production. Okay, so here we go. I bet that it's done writing now. Yep, it's already done writing that chapter. And the best thing about this is it takes your actual information and it writes with your ideas. So you have a first draft based on your actual ideas rather than having something just written wholly by AI. All right. So next, we're going to go to the fundamentals of low budget projects. And so here we go. I'm going to paste that here, and I'm going to paste in the next section of my transcript right here. And now chapter 2 is ready to go. I just click and then it starts writing. And as you can see now, it has a first chapter here and the second chapter is being written, but I'm free to keep going. So I'm just going to keep going chapter by chapter, and we'll probably speed this up. Okay, now, as soon as the last chapter is done writing, it should then give me a word count of everything. There you go. Okay, there you go. So we've basically written about 4,926 words. Probably not about, it's probably an exact count. It is a computer after all. But basically, I've taken this 20-minute transcript, split it into different pieces, and then it became an entire little ebook. Now, if I was going to write a longer book, what I would do is I would take multiple episodes of the podcast and turn them into sections, maybe introduction to low budget productions, how to run a set, things like that. And then eventually I'd have a whole book on filmmaking based on all of my work on this podcast. And this is just a first draft. So I would take this and I would edit this and turn this into something else. But there you have it. If you go to magicbookifier.ai, on the free membership, you get enough credits so that you could have written this particular book. Because actually, I only used, I think, 8 credits, and you get 10 credits to start for free. So just go give it a try and hope you enjoy.